If I told you there's one habit, just one, that slowly destroys your confidence, your goals, your money, your relationships, and even the way you see yourself, would you keep watching? Or would you assume it's something simple you can ignore? Because that's exactly how this habit works. It hides in your everyday life. You don't even realize you're doing it. And by the time it begins to break you, you think everything else is the problem. But it's not everything else. It's this one silent habit that almost everyone has, including me at one point. And today we're going to talk about how to break it before it breaks you. And trust me, if you're here right now, don't click away. What I'm about to walk you through is something you will catch yourself doing every single day once you become aware of it. And once you stop it, you'll feel like someone just handed you an extra life. Before we go deeper, make sure to like this video and hit subscribe to Financial Reality Official, because we drop real, practical breakdowns designed to upgrade your mindset, your money, and your everyday life. And you don't want to miss any of it. Now, let's get into the habit that ruins people from the inside out. It's something you've probably done this week. You've probably done it today, and you probably won't admit it, even to yourself. It's the habit of letting small, invisible compromises stack up until they shape your identity. What do I mean by that? I mean the tiny moments where you tell yourself you'll do something and you don't. The tiny promises you break with yourself. The alarm you said you'd wake up to. The task you said you'd finish. The small step you said you'd take. The conversation you said you'd have. The workouts you said you'd do. The budgets you said you'd follow. None of these on their own seem dramatic enough to harm you. And that's the problem. You think, what's the big deal? I'll try again tomorrow. But your brain remembers every single time you say you will, and then you don't. And slowly, it starts building a version of you that believes you're someone who doesn't follow through. And once your identity starts shifting toward I don't follow through, it affects everything. When you try something new, you start doubting yourself before you even begin. When you think about a big goal, it feels out of reach. When you want to fix something in your life, you hesitate. When you dream about a better future, it feels like fantasy, not possibility. Not because you're not capable, but because you've trained yourself to believe you don't do the things you say you'll do. This is why this habit is so dangerous. It kills potential silently. It eats away at your confidence, quietly. It changes the way you see yourself, without you noticing. Most people think the reason they're stuck is lack of motivation or lack of opportunity or lack of support. But the truth is, most people are stuck because they don't trust themselves anymore. And self-trust doesn't break all at once. It breaks in tiny, casual, forgettable moments that seem harmless. Imagine for a second how different your life would look today if every promise you told yourself in the last year had been kept. Really think about that. If every time you said I'll start, you actually started. If every time you said I'll stop, you actually stopped. If every time you said I'll improve, you actually improved. You'd be living a completely different life today. Not one change, not one big transformation, small consistency, repeated daily, would have reshaped you. And that's why breaking this habit changes everything. Let me tell you a story that you might relate to. There was a guy who won't use his real name, but let's call him Mark. Mark was smart, had big dreams, had all the talent in the world, and had a plan for his life. The problem wasn't his plan. The problem was the tiny moments he kept skipping. He'd wake up late and tell himself he'd make up the time later. He didn't. He'd say he'd budget on Sunday. He didn't. He'd say he'd apply for that job on Friday. He didn't. He'd say he'd stop talking to someone toxic. He didn't. Nothing dramatic, nothing catastrophic. Just small compromises. But here's where the story changes. One day, he realized he couldn't remember the last time he had followed through on something for himself. Not for work, not for family. For himself. And the part that hit him the hardest was this. Other people trusted him more than he trusted himself. That's when he realized this wasn't a productivity problem. This was an identity problem. And identity problems are much harder to fix than task problems. But he started small, super small. He picked one tiny promise. Something so simple it was impossible to fail. Drink 1 glass of water after waking up. That's it. Every day. No excuses. No skipping. No compromise. That one small, consistent action began to rebuild something inside him, self-trust. Once he kept that promise for a week, he added another small one. Then another. 3 months later, he didn't just change his habits. He changed the way he saw himself. And when your identity shifts, your behaviors follow effortlessly. You don't have to force discipline. You become disciplined. You don't have to force consistency. You become consistent. You don't have to fight procrastination. You stop procrastinating naturally because you no longer think of yourself as someone who avoids things. And the crazy part, this applies to money, health, relationships, business, everything. People think extraordinary results come from extraordinary actions, but extraordinary results come from ordinary actions you refuse to skip. That's what we talk about on FinancialRealityOfficial, not unrealistic hacks or overnight success, but the real mental shifts that build long-term results. So how do you break the habit before it breaks you? You start by understanding one thing. You do not need to overhaul your entire life today. You only need to repair the relationship you have with yourself. One tiny promise at a time. The number one mistake people make when trying to self-improve is going too big too fast. The second they break one new rule, they give up entirely. That's because they approach improvement like punishment, not partnership. You're not trying to control yourself. You're trying to rebuild trust with yourself. And trust is built with proof. Small proof, consistent proof. Pick one promise. Just one. Something you can do every single day without fail. Something tiny, something almost laughably easy. And honor it. Protect it. Treat it like a commitment to someone you deeply respect. Over time, you'll notice something strange happening. You start feeling more confident without doing anything dramatic. You start getting more disciplined without forcing yourself. Your goals start feeling possible again. Your mind begins to accept the idea that you are someone who follows through. And once you believe that, nothing in your life stays the same. That one habit, the habit of breaking micro-promises, loses its power over you. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you begin keeping small promises, your brain begins craving bigger ones. You start wanting to improve. You start wanting to stick to your word. You start wanting to push yourself. Because now you see yourself as someone who finishes things. And when you start seeing results, real results, not just wishful thinking, you begin to understand how dangerous that old habit was. It wasn't just delaying your progress. It was delaying your identity. It was delaying the strongest version of you. It was delaying the future that was already possible but never activated. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to understand something clearly. You're not behind. You're not failing. You're not broken. You're just one decision away from rebuilding self-trust. One tiny promise away from shifting momentum. One small action away from taking your power back. You can literally start today. Not Monday. Not next month. Not when life is less stressful. Today. Pick one promise. Keep it. Then repeat. This is how you break the habit before it breaks you. And if this hits you in any way, if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I do this. I break promises with myself more than I realize. Then let me ask you this. What's the first tiny promise you're willing to honor starting today? Drop it in the comments so you're making it real. I want you to write it out, because saying it out loud or typing it makes your brain register it differently. And share this video with someone who might need it. Because self-trust doesn't just build individuals, it builds families, friendships, careers, and futures. If you're still here right now, it means you're serious about getting better. And that alone puts you ahead of most people. Make sure you subscribe to FinancialRealityOfficial for more videos that push you forward instead of pulling you down. And remember, the fastest way to change your life is to stop breaking promises with yourself. Start today, keep going, and watch how everything else falls into place.